In Yakuza, the rain is a curse. Every storm claims a life. No witnesses, no suspects, only a mark and a legend. They say she walks in white, her lantern glowing in the dark, and once you see her, it's already too late. In the remote, storm-drenched town of Yakuza, the rain was more than water from the sky. It was a death sentence. The people knew it. The children knew it. Even the wind seemed to whisper it through the cracks of the old wooden houses. Every time the clouds swelled black and the air turned heavy, the same ritual played out. People locked their doors. Curtains were drawn tight. Candles flickered in dark rooms as whispered prayers floated through the air. It wasn't the storm they feared. It was what came with it. As soon as the first drops began to fall, the entire town's electricity would vanish in an instant. Not a flicker, not a slow fade, just gone. A suffocating, unnatural blackout that swallowed every street and alley. The only light came in violent flashes of lightning, revealing the rain-slicked cobblestones, the crooked signboards swinging in the wind, and the wide, unblinking eyes of those peeking from their windows. And when morning came, without fail, another person would be dead. The bodies were always found the same way. No wounds, no blood, no signs of struggle, just that same mark, a deep, blackened bruise on the side of the neck, shaped like a twisted crescent moon. The skin there was cold, colder than the rest of the body, as if something had drained the very heat from their blood. The first victim that year was Haru Nakamura, the quiet bookseller found slumped over his desk with a half-written letter under his hand. The ink had bled into the paper from the rain that dripped from his hair. Then came Aya Mori, the school teacher, discovered in her bed with the mark on her neck and her eyes wide open as if frozen in terror. And most recently, Kenji Sato, the fisherman. His body was found by the pier, the waves lapping against the dock, rain still dripping from his lifeless fingers. Whispers spread quickly. People spoke of her, an ancient figure who haunted Yakuza for generations, though no one dared speak her real name aloud. She was simply the White Witch. Said to be over 95 years old, she moved with the slow, deliberate grace of something that had lived far too long. Her skin hung in thin, pale folds, her back bent as though she carried centuries of secrets. Her hair was long, silver white, and tangled like seaweed. In her hand, she carried a small brass lantern whose flame never flickered, even under the pounding rain. The oldest among the villagers swore they had seen her decades ago, looking exactly the same. Some claimed she was once a midwife who had made a deal with the sea to save her own child, only to be cursed to feed on others to keep herself alive. Others said she had drowned once, and the storm brought her back every year to collect another soul. And with every life she took, she aged another year. But instead of dying, she became more grotesque. Her skin stretched unnaturally tight in places, her bones jutted at strange angles, and her once cloudy eyes became sharper, hungrier. The man tasked with ending this nightmare was Takeshi Morita, the town's head of security. A broad-shouldered man in his late 40s, Takeshi had deep-set eyes and a thick scar running from his right eyebrow to his cheek, a reminder of a knife fight years ago. He had seen men die before, but nothing like this. He knew the people were looking to him for answers, but the truth sat heavy in his gut. He was afraid, not of dying, but of what he might find if he caught her. On the night of the fourth storm, the wind howled like a living thing. The first clap of thunder was so loud it rattled the windows of his small office. He called in his two most trusted men, Shinji Watanabe, tall and quiet with sharp eyes, and Riku Hoshino, younger, reckless, with a cigarette always tucked behind his ear. The three of them decided to patrol the streets despite the blackout. They moved cautiously through the rain, flashlights trembling in their hands, boots splashing in cold puddles. Then they saw her. She was moving slowly along the cobblestones, her lantern swaying with each step. Her soaked white robe clung to her frame, trailing in the water. For a moment she stopped and lifted her head toward the sky, letting the rain run down her face as if drinking it in. Lightning flashed. Her eyes glinted. She turned sharply toward a small house and began whispering, A low, rasping sound that seemed to crawl into their ears and root itself in their skulls. Shinji muttered, "She's calling someone." They crept closer, but before they could reach her, the front door of the house swung open by itself. Inside, a woman sat on the floor, trembling, unable to move. The witch moved faster than they thought possible. 1 second she was at the door, the next she was crouched beside the woman, her hand gripping her chin, her lips pressing to her neck. The woman's scream was drowned out by the thunder. When the lightning struck again, Takeshi saw it. The life draining from her face, her skin turning pale, her body going limp. And as the witch rose, her posture straightened slightly, her cheeks filled in, and her eyes became sharper. She looked younger. She stepped past them without a word. Takeshi swore he felt the air turn cold, the scent of wet earth filling his lungs. They turned to follow her, but she was gone. That night, Takeshi made himself a silent promise. He would find her, and if the rain wanted blood, he'd make sure it was hers. But in Yakuza, the rain always comes back. It came again, 3 nights later. This time, Takeshi was ready. With half the town gathered in the square, lanterns lit and weapons in hand, they waited in the pounding rain. The air was electric, thick with fear and anticipation. When the witch appeared, stepping from the shadows with her lantern's golden glow, the crowd's breath caught. Her eyes glistened under the lightning, her smile curling into something inhuman. Takeshi shouted her name, the one no one dared to speak. She froze. The townspeople began closing in, their lanterns swaying like a wall of fire. With a roar, Takeshi lunged, driving an iron spear, blessed in the shrine's fire, straight through her chest. Her scream cut through the storm, a sound so piercing it made the hair on every neck stand on end. Her body writhed, then collapsed into ash, scattering into the wet cobblestones. The lantern's flame flickered, then died. And just like that, the rain stopped. Silence fell over Yakuza, but the townsfolk did not cheer. They simply stared at the empty space where she had stood, the faint image of a crescent moon glowing on the ground before fading into nothing. Takeshi stood in the center of the square, soaked to the bone, his eyes fixed on the horizon. He knew evil wears many faces, and some don't vanish forever. Final message to you: strange events aren't just stories. If you ever see, hear, or feel something that doesn't belong, don't ignore it. Tell someone. Call security. Call the authorities. Your voice could be the one that stops the next shadow in the storm.